Hello and welcome back to Real Opinions. It's currently nearly 7:30 in the morning. We haven't slept at all.
We've just been to the midnight screening premiere in Southampton of Age of Ultron.
You can tell we've been up all
Avengers
night.
Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron, the second Avengers. Tony Stark tries to find a way to stop the Avengers having to avenge.
Yeah.
So
basically,
he builds a lot of robotic versions of his Iron Man suits and tries to use Loki's staff to make them smarter and accidentally creates artificial intelligence which turns into this super being called Ultron that runs away and decides he wants to destroy humanity. And then the Avengers team up to fight them and achieve world domination.
Wait, the Avengers are
more balance of the universe.
Defend against world domination. I thought the balance was pretty good, to be honest.
Considering they tried to fit so many people.
And they added more
So
people.
many
Characters.
characters.
It worked well.
Yeah.
From the core group, everyone still gets their moment to shine. They all
do their thing.
They all do their thing, yeah, and they all work quite well as a group now. There's a lot of emphasis in the action sequences on the cooperation and when Thor will hammer Captain America's shield into someone, it's like these complex moves that sort of string together everyone's
And the
abilities,
chemistry is all there that helps fit it together.
both in terms of the action and the
and in terms of the
conversations
quips and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Should we talk about Ultron himself?
Definitely.
Yeah.
100% yes, because it was it felt a bit left wing when Joss Whedon cast James Spader as Ultron.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
A lot of people were like, James who? Because he hasn't been in a film in a long time. And the only thing I knew him from was the US Office. And here he's kind of very similar to how he was in the US Office, which I love though.
He's kind of an amalgamation of Tony Stark and the internet.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And he
it
doesn't
is.
really understand his own strength or his own power, and he's grown far too quickly. And he's so that my one problem with him is that I didn't feel like there was enough of him, and there was plenty of him in the film.
Yeah.
I just wanted more because he was so good.
Yeah, he was.
And he has some really good comebacks.
The good thing is he's like a funny villain, and we've had funny villains in the Marvel canon before, but it's not like the kind of funny villain where it kind of takes away from their threat because he's sadistic. It's a sadistic kind of funny.
Yeah, it's not camp, is it?
Yeah,
it's not
it's
camp.
not camp.
Yeah. I think overall,
And he's a good physical threat as well.
exactly.
Which is
What
thing
counts
that
more
also-
is he's a genuine threat to the Avengers.
Yeah.
When you think you have this team of Earth's mightiest heroes, they are the best superheroes kind of in that universe, and they are genuinely challenged.
This is the best the action sequences have ever been in any of the Marvel films.
Definitely.
Like when I think of any of the,
In the Marvel Studios, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, that's what like I can't think of any singular action scene from any of them that would top basically any scene
Well,
from
it felt
these.
like the first Avengers was them all coming together, so you didn't really feel like they were in tandem until the very end.
Yeah.
And even then, it was still them with training wheels on. Whereas this,
Yeah.
right from the word go, they're an experienced team, and you get to experience that all the way through, which is actually properly lovely to watch.
Yeah, like the first one, basically it's Star Wars for our generation, or the generation a
For
bit
the
below
comic
us.
book generation,
And
definitely.
It's a very important film, whether you like it or not, because it's changed the way that they make these kind of films.
It's the third highest
And-
grossing film ever.
Yeah, and like when the first one had that shot where you saw them all together in a circle, that was like a whoa moment.
Yeah.
And whilst this one, in a lot of ways, I felt like it improves on on the first film
Yeah.
in its intrinsic elements, it doesn't kind of have that same kind of feel because
seen
it's
it
not
already.
it's not the first one, which isn't its fault.
But I think we should give it credit where credit's due, that it pulled it off again.
Oh yeah,
like,
true, yeah.
definitely.
without being repetitive.
I would
if
say
that
there
makes
was a drop in
sense.
quality.
How do you
I
make a
wouldn't think.
sequel to one of the biggest films ever made? It's
Yeah.
so difficult.
As someone who's not a big superhero film fan, I felt that the dialogue was like one of the main things that made this quite accessible for me. It's aware of its silliness and stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, again with the dialogue, some of the more toned down scenes, and I think the toned down scenes were a lot more impressive than in the first film, because I actually think the dialogue is better in this film. Like, memorable scene for me is the party scene, which these guys found really funny
yeah.
because
Yeah,
with all these massive
that
action
was-
scenes going on. but some of the dialogue is brilliant, isn't it? It's just
It's just
great
the fact that
scene.
we came out of this massive, like, $250 million mega blockbuster, which is like 95% action sequences, and the first thing James says is, I think my favourite bits were the really understated scenes, like the party sequence. And I'm just like, the bits where stuff exploded!
So, should we move to ratings now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Which
wanna
way should we go?
Wanna go that way?
Start
Let's
that
start
then.
with me.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a 9. The only reason this is the most fun I've had with a film in forever. Like, Guardians aside,
Yeah.
I had more fun with this than I did Kingsman. I did. I thought and just everything in this film
I think
worked
it's going to be an
pretty
interesting
much.
debate, that one, isn't
The
it? But
only
anyway.
thing,
Will
the
be a
only thing
debate.
that left this off a 10 was the few straggling threads.
I would say that this is 6 out of 10. I would say that this is 6 out of 10. Based on like how much I enjoyed it, etc., etc. But I'm going to say 7 out of 10 because if I quite liked it and found it quite accessible, given that I really do not tend to like films like this, I think it deserves a 7. So from me,
I was gonna go with like 7/8, just because
He's already said /8, so you don't spoil him too.
This is not a dictatorship. I just want to put that out there.
I didn't like the humour going towards the second half. Not because I didn't like the humour, but just because it seemed weirdly placed in some scenes.
Yeah,
like it was in the
a bit
middle
too
of them
much at
doing
times.
something where they should really be concentrating.
Wrong
Yeah,
franchise.
I'm gonna go 9 as well. So you have to smother me.
Wise choice.
Yeah, as you know, I went in with like a giddy fanboy, and it pretty much lived up to my expectations entirely. And I love the Whedon. Obviously, I love Whedon's writing, and I love the proper comic book feel, like you said, and the scale of the whole thing. And it's probably the most fun I've had since Kingsman, if that helps. Since Kingsman.
Kingsman was a lot of fun.
Me. I came out of this film feeling like it was a bit of a 7 out of 10 film. I was a little bit worried. However, having talked through, I think I'm actually going to give this one an 8 because of... Not because of Ben! Fuck Ben! To the general audience.
I don't think people that like Avengers will be disappointed with this.
No.
Definitely not.
No,
And
definitely
I feel
not.
like I'm happy that if we're this tired and this angry at each other and this fed up, I'm happy that it's for this film.
For all of us here at Real Opinions, thank you for watching. We're going to go to sleep.